Today we're going to do a repair on a Bearcat Scanner. If you're like me and you wear these around using a headset, because these don't have Bluetooth, there's a couple different wear points. The first one is the antenna gets really loose. There are replacement antennas available. You can find those on Amazon. They're about 10 bucks. This one had the same problem. I put the new antenna on, very tight. The second wear point is with the headphone jack. So we're going to take this thing apart, see if we can fix the headphone jack. If not, we'll see if we can pull the jack off, find a replacement, and put a new one in. So the first thing you want to do is take the antenna off, pull the batteries out. Let's pull all these screws out, take the back off, and remove the PC boards from the case. Okay, I took out 6 screws up here, 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 5, 6. Okay, so with those screws out, the case halves separate. We're going to take this and put it aside. And we're going to take these screws out, these, and we'll pull the PC boards out of the back half of the case. Okay, with those screws out, you pull on the front board, and this jack right here disconnects from that jack, and the front PC board comes off. This is the charging port cover. We're going to put that back on when we reassemble it, but you can see we kind of have access to this PC board. Let's see if we can pull this shield out and then figure out how to get the next board out. Okay, the shield just pulls right out, no problem. And then on the BNC there is a lock nut, so we're going to remove that lock nut and then we're going to pull that PC board out. Okay, I didn't have a spanner wrench small enough to fit in there, but I was able to use a very small punch and give it one little teeny baby tap with a little tiny hammer, and that loosened the lock nut that was holding the BNC in place on the case. Let's try to pull a PC board. Okay, so there we are looking into the jack. The metal does not appear to be worn. So it's probably just a loss of tension. So what I'm going to do, before I replace that jack, I'm going to see if I can clean it and apply more tension to it by grabbing those and pulling each of those out a little tiny bit. And then I'll see if that fixes the headphone jack problem, and if not, we'll take it. Okay, there's a view from the bottom side of the jack, looking at the ground and the signal contact that we're going to try to pull out and increase tension on. Okay, here's another view of the jack, and it has the number 92 on the jack, so we're going to see if we can find that replacement jack, and then we'll decide if we're going to do the tension or replace the jack. Okay, so I bent the shield up so I can get access to the pins, and I am going to go ahead and use my desoldering station and pull that jack out of there. Take a look at it. Okay, there it is. It's out. I'm going to try to find a second source for it. If I can find one, I'll replace it. If not, I'll try to fix it. I wrote a letter to Uniden, and I said I have a few BC125 scanners that the headphone jack is worn out on. Can you give me the replacement part number or manufacturer's part number? And they responded, unfortunately Uniden does not supply internal components to customers. However, the internal components that are listed at the JK1156 style of auxiliary jack, we apologize for the inconvenience, but we wish you the best of luck in your search. So I think I found a similar but not exact replacement on Amazon. Okay, so this is my little cheat sheet. And basically, this is the original OEM jack looking at the bottom, and I basically split it up, signal versus ground side. And then with no plug-in, 2 and 3 are connected, 1 and 4 are open. With the plug-in, 2 and 3 are open, 1 and 4 are connected. With the jack in, measuring at the jack, the hot of the jack connects to pin 2. The ground of the jack connects to 1 and 4. Now I arbitrarily assigned these pin numbers and they may not match the convention, but I defined what they are here. So this is the replacement jack, and it is a 5-pin jack. It does not correlate to the original 4-pin jack. And you can see with no plug, 2 and 3 are connected, 1 and 4 are open. With the plug in, 2 and 3 are open, 1 and 5 are connected. And with the jack in, measuring at the hot side of the jack connects to pin 2, and the ground side of the jack connects to 5 and 1. So we're going to have to make some modifications to that jack and see if we can get that to fit on the board. The new jack is about 3 millimeters wider than the old jack, so you will have to protect the PC board. I used an index card and cut it so it fit in that slot, and then what you got to do is take about 1.5 millimeters off each side. I used a little diamond file and opened that up to make the clearance wide enough to fit the new socket. Each of the holes for the jack are going to have to be drilled out. I used a small hand drill, 1.18 millimeter. That was the diameter of the drill bit that I used. So those 4 holes where the jack goes all need to be enlarged to accommodate the new jack. To modify this jack, the first thing you need to do is cut the pin off, second one from the bottom. I am calling that pin 4. Got to cut it off and use a file to file it flush, and then put a piece of black electrical tape over it to isolate it. That's what the new jack looks like. So what I had to do was put new leads on it and basically form them such that they fall in the same place as the original jack. Okay, so there it is. It's all back together. It works.
53, squad 5361, advise with uniform.
The new jack is in. It's got a metal top. I hooked a set of headphones onto it. They work. They disconnect the audio on the scanner. So if anybody knows the part number of the right jack, let me know. I'll do another video, or if they got another alternative that's better than the one I used. Other than that, it does work, and that's how you do it, or one way to do it. Thanks for watching. For reference, these are the jacks that I used. I got from Amazon, 10 pieces, $3.45. So if you mess up a couple, you have lots of extras. Hyus PJ307, 5-pin. We only used 4 of the 5 pins. Okay, I have another document here that might make this a little easier. So this is the layout of the PC board where the jack goes. Using the pin nomenclature that I defined in the previous document, I've got the original pin number designation on the left and the new one on the right. So in the ground pin in the front, the original was 1, the new is still pin 1. Pin 2 is still pin 2. 3 is still pin 3. However, in the last one there, 4 changes to 5. The other thing is where this metal bar is on the bracket, between the BNC and the volume control, I cut this out. I cut it here and here, and that way that frees it up so you get a lot of space to put the new jack in. Because we extended the leads, I ended up extending all 4 leads, and that allows you to get it in place and position it exactly where you want it. And even once you get it in the case, it's still, because the end of the jack isn't quite as long as the original one, you have to make sure it's up as high as it can possibly go. In fact, there's a lip on the case right around where the headphone jack is. You could shave that down. I didn't, but I did not have a problem with any of the headphones that I used plugging into it and working. So good luck. Hope that works out. Hope it helps. If you do find a jack that's the exact identical replacement, let me know what the part number is, and I will look at that later.